YouTube, what's happening? It is Tuesday, August 13th, and you can see we got a full slate of baseball. Everyone's playing today. It's a normal day of baseball. All the games are later on today. No super early day games finally. So Tuesday seems to be the best day for this stuff. So yesterday we could see we went 3-2, somehow ended up positive 0.58 units back into the bankroll, even with the Yankees somehow losing to the White Sox, which I said yesterday would be absolutely hilarious in the video if it happens, and then it happened. I must have jinxed it. Oh well, it happens. I donated a unit to that. So for the season, you can see we're still up pretty good, up 71 units on the season when it comes to all the games we bet. I've been doing this for 3 months, and if you told me at the end of 3 months I'd be up 71 units, I would have laughed in your face. I said, no, baseball is impossible. Well, we're doing all right. Slow and steady wins the race around here. So like and subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, because we're going to dive into each and every game. And let's just go ahead and do that right now. All right, first game up, we got Washington and Baltimore. Baltimore's a pretty heavy favorite. 9 is your total. Popping over here to the weather, we see not much wind, pretty good weather. Can't complain about that. Looking at the bats, 55% Murphy based on what they've done this year. Neither team's on a streak to look at. They're both getting 4 runs a game in the last 3 for 15th overall, so they're just average. 258 for Washington, which is 14th. Baltimore's 304 for 5th, so slight advantage of Baltimore with the actual batting average. Looking over at the pitchers, we got Jake Irvin going out there today. You can see what he's done. He is more likely to get more runs than not. 2 a couple times, a 0, and then 6, 5, 4. So probably 3, 4-ish runs on average based on those starts. And then Trevor Rogers going out there since he showed up from Miami. He had a good game against Toronto last time, and then 5, and before that was pretty good. So I would probably give Baltimore the lean in pitching slightly. So looking over at the prop, see if anything stands out, see if we can find something. No history with Irvin. Baltimore versus righties, you can see they do like them some righties, do they not? Everyone's good. Even the Reds are 250, 258. You can see the numbers with the props. Hits 5.5, and Baltimore is, what were they, 5th at 304. This might be a play. Strikeouts, earn runs. I like consistency in my props. I like them. Stuff like this is not consistent. That's just all over the place. See, that's not consistent at all. Let's go to Rogers, see if he has any history. He has some history. Nothing really. I mean, just he's actually pretty good numbers. Can't complain. Washington versus lefties. A couple love them some lefties. A couple struggle with lefties. So it depends on, yeah. It's not looking too good for Washington. Up and down on the hits. Strikeouts have gone down recently. I don't like that. Earned runs is pretty consistent. Then a pop. But Washington is average right now. I don't want to take that. If they were like in the 20s when it comes to average and runs, I'd probably take this. But since they're 15th, a little too high. I don't do walks, but there you go. Walks a good bit. And outs. It's starting to become more consistent. So, all right, look at the bats. See if anyone stands up. Not much. So we got Wood and call bases. We got Jackson Holiday, of course, still HRR. Cowser HRR and call HRR. Holiday and Cowser probably don't have any history. Let's see how they do against the bats just to see. Let's see. Holiday versus righties is a 164 average. Okay, you're doing great. And Cowser is 252. I expected higher numbers from them too, to be honest. So, all right, we'll leave those alone. Only prop I even liked was the Irvin over hits, and that's because he's facing Baltimore. That's the props. 5.5. I mean, he had some games where he was good. He has never faced them for the whole year. He's been worse recently, but he's been better. Ooh, this is close. I think I'll leave that alone. Looking at the entire game itself, I don't really like a side. I guess I kind of lean Baltimore, but not enough to put him in a parlay. Total is 9. We have a pitcher in Irvin who should probably give us some runs. Rogers give up a couple runs, but not as many, but has potential. To me, nothing is really standing out in this one. Only thing I looked at was maybe Irvin hits, maybe the over, but nothing really stands out enough for me to jump out and grab it. So I'm just going to pass on everything and just move on to the next game. All right, next up we got St. Louis and Cincinnati. We see Cincinnati as a slight favorite today. 8.5 is the total. Looking over at the weather, you can see not much wind, nice day overall here in Cincinnati. Looking back here, we see 58% Murphy based on what they've done this year. 4 runs a game, 264 for St. Louis. That's 15th and 12th in the last 3 games. Cincy, 3.3 runs, a $1.63 average. That's 28th in the last 3. But yet somehow they won the game 6-1 yesterday. Yeah, sometimes stats don't line up perfectly. So 8 strikeouts, 12 strikeouts. Cincy is striking out an absolute ton still. So let's pop over to the props and see if any. Actually, let's look at the pitchers first. Got to do that first. We got Fetty going out there for St. Louis. You can see what he's done. Came from the White Sox. Great game against Tampa. Not good game against the Cubs. He was pretty decent before that. He's had 1 bad game in 6 games, and that was the Cubs. So, and Hunter Green's going out there. People love betting Hunter Green when he pitches. You can see 3-0-0-0-2-1-0. Earned runs was the play last time, and it still hit the over. So, but before that, dude was a bit automatic. He's been great. Can't complain. Let's look at the props now, see if we got anything. We'll start with Hunter Green. All I see is St. Louis struggles to hit him. That's all I see. 0.091 for Norman. Goldie is $1.33. Arenado's $1.88. $1.67. This terrible numbers. Yeah, Walker. Yeah, okay. You're good. It's only 7 at-bats. St. Louis versus righties. Nothing really stands. I mean, Burles is 307, but nothing else really stands out. 294 for win. Up and down. Look, some props. Hunter Green outs is going consistently up to 6. That might be a play. Okay, maybe not. That is some heavy juice. Let's bump that to 18.5. Come on now. Strikeouts. No. St. Louis ain't striking out much. Hits he get 6 hits last time too. He trended down so nicely and popped. I wonder if he's okay. Earned runs and walks. Okay. And we go to Fetty. Fetty history, nothing, not enough bad to look at. Since he is just not that great with righties, even the green ones are not good. Ellie's 293 and he has 0 help behind that. The bats have just not been good for Cincy this year. How did they win yesterday? I mean, that's the question. Look at the props. Outs have consistently started going down a little bit. Strikeouts, up and down, nothing really consistent. Hits have been pretty low. You are facing Cincy, who is only batting $1.63 and striking out so much. Strikeouts is 5.5. You've only gone over that 39% of the time all season. I'm not feeling that. Under hits might be a play though, because 39% as well. Oh, okay. I think I might 5.5 is good, and it's a nice juice. Pick 'em. I think I'm gonna take that. I don't think Cincy gets many hits often. You see how they do against righties, and you saw the history. He's not much history, but we're gonna say what was this? Fetty under 5.5 hits allowed. Now, since he pops and breaks out, hey, they do that. But I just, based on these stats, I mean, even yesterday they won a game, but they batted 200. So, yeah. All right. So, go to the rest of these. Earned runs, walks. I don't like those. Let's go to bats. Ooh, okay. All we have is 1 bat. It's Fraley bases. There you go. I don't take yellow, so no. All right. This one. I mean, you lean Cincinnati. People are going to lean Cincinnati because of Hunter Green. St. Louis is favored because of the bats. I almost think St. Louis should win, but we're going to leave it alone. We have Fetty under 5.5 hits allowed. We're not going to take anything else in this game and just move on to the next one. All right, next up we got Miami and Philadelphia. Philly's a pretty heavy favorite at home. 8.5 is your total. Looking over at the weather, we see that it's a nice day. Wind's not going to be a factor again. Nothing to complain about. 47% Murphy based on what they've done this year. Philly is on a 3-game losing streak, worth noting. 5.7, 234 for Miami. That's 9th and 20th in the last 3 games. Philly, 2.7, $1.88. That's 23rd and 24th. So offenses are struggling to hit the ball with their averages. Miami is still somehow scoring runs. So, but they're both trending up from where they were. So they're doing a little bit better. And strikeouts, 10.3, which is 25th for Miami. That's notable. Looking at the pitchers, we got Belozo going out there for Miami. Dude ain't got no pitcher. Come on, the pitcher needs a pitcher. Come on, hook him up, ESPN. You can see he had a great game against Cincy. 5 innings of nothing last time, just 5 hits. I mean, yeah, before that, he did a month off and then a month off. So you can see, yeah, you can see what he's done. And then Walker's going out there. He has not pitched since June. So this will be his first game back after a nice little stint. We can see how he did. He was giving up runs when he was healthy. So now he's back. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see how he does in his first game back. So this might be a higher scoring run game than usual. Malozzo has no props, but we can see his history, which he doesn't have any, and we can see how Philly does against righties. Some do bad, but then even the red ones are still 260, 250. They're average. Nothing really stands out. Turner's 301. White means they're the same both sides of the plate, so it doesn't matter. And then we'll look at Walker's real quick to see his. There's Sanchez is 0.063 and 16 at bats. That's almost worth looking at his hit prop, taking the under. Something that bad. So, and is he over here? He's not on this one, is he? No, okay. I haven't got to the point where I'm taking under on hit props yet. I probably should do that, but I mean, I hate rooting for nothing. It's like taking unders. I hate those, but I mean, it's where the money is sometimes. Against righties, Miami's mostly good against righties, except for a few. Everyone's pretty decent, and even in the green, I mean, there's still like 100, 200, 3. Only one's like Edwards at 371, 300 for him. Nothing truly stands out. Let's look at props. Hits 4.5 for Walker. First game back, what's the batting averages looking like? 20th and 24th. That's gonna make this hard. If they were a little bit better, I'd want this. Strikeouts for him. His first game back this is against Miami, who is striking out more than usual, right? 25th. Do we take him 3.5? No, we don't, because we don't know how many innings he's actually going to pitch. That's the thing. First game back, he could have pitched like 4, he could pitch 6. We don't know how these managers think, so yeah, we're not going to do that one. Earned runs, and yeah, we're going to pass on those. And we don't have props on the other side, so let's go to bats. We got some 80% for Bowman, Edwards, Harper, Berger. Berger's been like killing it recently, so yeah, it's hard with these pitchers. So I don't lean aside just from the stats. Pitching, you can't really do because Walker, we don't know what he's going to do. Veloza had a good game last time. The total's 8.5. It's just a weird game. I wouldn't put Philly in a money line parlay. I just don't trust it. To me, I'm just going to leave this game alone and move on to the next one. All right, next up we got Chicago and Cleveland. Cleveland's a slight favor, 8.5 is your total. Looking over here at the weather, we see it's going to be a nice day. No wind to worry about, cloudy at start, but the game itself is going to be pretty nice overall. Looking at this, 55% nerfy based on what they've done so far. Cleveland's on a 3-game winning streak. 6 runs a game, 309 for Chicago in the last 3. That puts 8th and 4th in the last 3. Cleveland, 5.3, 242. That's 11th and 18th. Yesterday was 9-8. Cubs tried to make a comeback. They just couldn't get it done. So that was a fun one to watch. You can see neither team strikes out much either. Let's look at the pitchers. We got Assad going out there for Chicago today. We can see he's been, he starts, but he doesn't. The last couple games, he's only gone 4 innings. So, 3, 2, 3, 6, 4, 4. He's like a long reliever that just consider a starter. Whatever. They're winning the games. That's what matters. So if it works, it works. Because he's not giving up too many runs. And Boyd is going out there for Cleveland. You can see what he has done. He has not pitched since June of 2023. Got to see, I caught it. I was like, wait a minute. So you can see that it's been a while since he pitched and what he did. He's a starter. He's been out. So welcome back. First game. Hope you have fun. Around here, we fade the dudes when it's his first start of the year. So yeah. And so you see how he did before that. He gave up some runs every now and then. So look at the props, see if anything stands out. Assad, history, not many at bats. Everybody has 1, 2, nothing stands out. Cleveland versus righties. Some are green, but some are red. But even Quan, 308. We still got some mid 2s, not too impressive. For the props, hits have gone down recently for Assad. Strikeouts have fallen off the cliff. He was like great for a minute and said, I don't feel like striking out nobody no more. And I'm not going to. So you can see, just not good on those. I don't like any of his props. And Boyd, we can look at history. Swanson's 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Swanson came in clutch yesterday with that 3-run double, really is what it was, in the later part of the game. So that was great. And then Swanson is up here, top of the list on bases. He might get a play today. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's keep looking. Versus lefties. Swanson's 282. And we see the Cubs do pretty well against lefties for the whole season, even like 321. There's only one guy that's in the hundreds. That's right there. Yeah, Cubs. Yeah, yeah. Cubs might have some fun today against Boyd. 5.5 strikeouts for Boyd. I'm not taking that. Hits. I mean, it's been a minute. This last 10. This was 2023. This whole season he pitched before he stopped pitching. So he gave up over 3.5 a bunch, but we don't know how many innings he's going to pitch is the thing. That's the question. I can't take a prop on somebody I don't know how long they're going. I hate when we. Let's go to the bats. I like the Swanson bases. I mean, if he gets a single, boom, covered. Basically, do you get a hit in your 4 at bats? That's all we need to know. Can you get a hit off somebody who you've already had success against and you've done great recently? I think I like that. But then I kind of want to go with the 1.5 HRR because one is better juice. Let's be honest. But I don't know much. I want to take these, I really do, but I don't want to just blindly take these because, oh, it's a new pitcher, we got to fade him. No, we're not trying to gamble here. We're trying to actually make smart decisions, which is still kind of gambling. It is gambling, but smart gambling, yeah, we'll call it that. Over unders 8.5. Ooh, I got to pass. I have to. I got to pass on this game and just move on to the next one. All right, next up we got Seattle, Detroit, and let me tell you, if this was like late 20s, like 5-6 years ago me, or 10 years ago me, I would have bet so many things in that last game, but they would have been parlayed together, and at the end of the night, I'd be like, where'd all my money go? And that's what I used to do. Now I don't do that no more. So the restraint was real. You saw the anguish in my face trying to make those decisions. Passing is hard sometimes. It's just really hard. You got to do it sometimes. You just got to do it. You do not have to bet every game. So new game, Seattle, Detroit, and it's the rematch of last week. It's Skubal versus Kirby. So you can see Detroit's a slight favorite. 7's your total, which is why the total's so low. Looking at the weather, wind's not a factor. A little cloudy, then sunny, maybe some showers, maybe. We'll see. 47% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. Seattle's on a 4-game winning streak. 7.3, 255 in the last 3. That's 2nd and 16th for Seattle. They're getting runs, but the batting average isn't there. But they've had a 353 in their last game. So Detroit 2.7, a $1.94. Of course, Skubal's not going to get any bat help. 23rd in the last 3 for both of them because Detroit's offense is just abysmal this year. And both teams are striking out a bunch, which is what you want when you see these two pitchers going up there. So pitchers, Kirby, we see what Kirby did last week against Detroit. 7 hits, 3 earned, 7 Ks. And he's just been great all year. It's Kirby. And then we know the GOAT, Skubal's going out there. He got roughed up against Casey. It happens. You cut him, he bleeds. He's human. Outside of that, last week, 3, 2, and 9. Both decent number of pitchers, pretty high strikeouts. That's what we're probably going to see again today, especially with those batting averages we've shown. Let's pop over to the props. Oddly enough, I don't have Kirby props, which is kind of weird. Like, why does he not have props? He is starting, right? Unless something changed. So we'll look at his history first, since we can do that. Kirby versus Detroit. Detroit does decent against them, but it's not been many at bats. So, and against righties, some are just terrible. Even though they're green, these are just not good numbers. We got a 259 and a 288, and that's about it. Detroit struggles this year, but we don't have it. So now let's look at Skubal history. 300 for Randy. Randy is dandy. Blanco's 250, pretty average. Nothing truly standing out here against lefties. We got a bunch of 2s, Turner's 273. We got some terrible reds. Rodriguez is 303, but nothing's really standing out. Let's go here. His outs have been pretty consistent, but it's 18.5. They know what they're doing. These bookmakers know strikeouts is 7.5 against Seattle, which is currently going 9.7. And it's like, head to head, you got 9. Whole year, you gone over 7.5, 43% of the time. Almost got to take it. It's Seattle. So Seattle's the worst strikeout team in the league. Yeah, they're doing better right now, but overall, they are consistently the worst strikeout team. So, yeah. 8, 9. I think it's plus 105. You know what? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna rock with the stats. I'm going to go Skubal over 7.5 Ks. Now, does it get more? Hopefully, just get 8. I don't need you to get 10, 12, 13. Just get 8. We don't need a Sale, Snell performance like last night. We don't need none of that. So hits, earned runs, they're very up and down. See, walks. So there we go. Bats, not a single person on either team is in the top 10 in green right now. So no bat props. Can't do it. I mean, that's the first one I've seen since I started looking at hitter props. This is, what's the total? 7? I can't take under 7. Ugh, I can't do that. Okay, I have Scooble 7.5 strikeouts. I don't really want to. I don't want to do it. I can't take a side. I mean, Seattle's offense has better numbers than Detroit, but I don't want to go against Scooble on the side. So, I mean, yeah, we'll just take Scooble strikeouts. Call today. Move on to the next game. All right, next we've got Houston and Tampa. Houston's a slight favorite. 7.5 is your total. It's in a dome. It's in Tampa. It's in Tropicana, so no worries there. We see Houston's on a 6-game winning streak with 54% Murphy based on what they've done this year. 7 runs a game, 295 for Houston. That's 3rd and 7th in the last 3 games. Tampa 2.7, a $183, 23rd and 25th. Big advantage Houston when it comes to the bats, and both teams are striking out 9.3, which is tied for 18th. Looking at the pitchers, we have Kikuchi going out there. We see he faced Tampa literally 2 starts ago on the 8-2, 5.23 hits, 2 earned, and 11 Ks. And then he faced Texas. It looks like the dude got traded and then all of a sudden career resurgence. I'm a good pitcher again. He faced Tampa and Texas. Both offenses are terrible when he faced them. So hence why all the strikeouts. He still gave up runs. So I still don't think Kikuchi's a very good pitcher, but I mean, there you go. And then Baz is going out there for Tampa. He faced Houston as well. 6 hits, 2 earned, 5 Ks, and 5.1. St. Louis, he got a little shoved up a little bit. So let's look at the props, see if anything stands out. We'll start with Baz since we're talking about him. History, there's a little bit, but not much. 3 at-bats is the most. Nothing really there. Houston versus righties. They're better against lefties. Low numbers, average. We have a couple close to 300 and over 300, but everybody else is mid 2s or just low. So nothing too impressive versus, let's see, 5.5 hits. 2024, he's only pitched in 6 games this year. You can see what he did last game. 2 games ago was right there, 6 hits. He had 5 strikeouts. The number's 4.5. Earned runs, walks, and outs. I still don't like betting on Baz because he has such a short leash. I said this last week. He gets pulled. If he starts the slightest sign of trouble, he gets yanked. They pull quick in Tampa. So I'm not really feeling his props. Kikuchi, we can see his hits. Yeah, he still gives up the last 2 games against terrible offenses. And then against the Yankees of all teams, who's probably a terrible offense. So I think this time in June, yeah, Yankees were not that good in June. They were struggling offensively a good bit. So strikeouts, 11 and 8, and we can see that Tampa is 18th in strikeouts. Usually they're much higher. I believe they were closer to the bottom of the barrel when they faced them last time, so they're doing better. So what is it, 7.5 strikeouts? 7.5? No shot. I can't do that. You're not Scooble? Where are you getting that number from? Crazy. I don't like none of that. And let's look at some bats. We got Bregman, Alvarez. There's only 2 in the HRR categories I would look at, and some bases. Ooh, I mean, I lean Houston because the bats. Pitching, I mean, do I technically lean Baz? I guess I don't know. Pitchers, this is a game. You know what? Let's come over here. Let's go team props. Houston runs team total. What's your team total? 4.5 against Baz. How are you batting right now? 7th, yeah. 3.5 is safer at 145. You know what? Let's do that. You know, but we're not just gonna play safe. We're gonna, let me pop that so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. Over here we got team total going on. 3.5 for Houston's 145 plus 120 is 4.5. We're gonna be slightly risky. We're gonna take the over 4.5 or plus 120. You can take the my 145 if you want. If you want that, that's fine. I'm not. I'm going to be a little more risky and take this because of how well they've been batting recently. So we'll do that. We're not going to take anything else and let's move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Texas and Boston, and we see that Boston is a slight favorite in this one. Over under is 10, and that might not be high enough. So with these pitchers, looking at the weather, we see 3 miles an hour winds. It's going to be a nice day in Boston. Can't complain there. For the numbers, 41% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 6.7, 296 for Texas. That's 5th and 6th in the last 3 games. The offense has been clicking. Boston, 3.7, 210, 20th and 22nd. You got to give Texas the advantage when it comes to the runs here. 10 versus 14.3 for Boston on strikeouts. That might be the highest strikeout total I've seen in 3 games all season for Boston. They were swinging and missing at everything. Look at the pitchers. We got Jose Urena going out there today. He is technically a reliever, but he pitches good minute innings, but he gives up runs. He gave up 7 runs to Boston last time he faced him. 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 strikeouts. It was a bad day. Outside of that, I mean, he's pretty decent, can't complain. And can we talk about how bad Cutter Crawford is? Just for like a second. Can we just acknowledge how terrible he is? 6.5.56. Before that, he was good. This dude has had a terrible 4-game stretch. Usually it's 2 games and they get better. No, this guy's gone 4 straight games of just giving up a lot. So, I mean, 1 or 2 is like, okay, it happened. You're in a trend. This is habits. This is what you do now. So, let's look at the props, see if anything stands out now. Strikeouts for him, he had 0 last time. Come on. It hits up and down, earned runs. Yeah, he's been good except for this 1 game. So, and then we go to Crawford. Oh, wait, I almost forgot about the histories. Getting ahead of myself. I'm excited to bet this over. So, Brayu's got a home run and 2 at-bats. Smith is not good in 14 at-bats. Devers, 375 and 8 at-bats. Devers isn't doing. We got to look at what he's done. Let's go to Crawford now. Let's see what his history looks like. We got some decent at-bats. We have Simeon's 300. Nothing is really standing out to me here. Against righties, you can see what they do. I forgot to look at the other side's hands. We'll go back to it. No problem. Nothing. We got 300, 292. Nothing standing out here. And before I go to props, let's back up and look at the Boston versus righties because I overlooked it. We got 360. We got some high numbers. Yeah, they're pretty good against righties. So props for Cutter. You can see he's going down recently because, I mean, he's had 4 rough games, obviously. Strikeouts have gone up, though, interesting enough. So he's like he's trying to strike out more and giving up runs in the same time. So I don't know. See, just like it was great for 3 games and then poof, done. Walks, yeah. So look at the bats. We only had 3. We got Rafaela, Sager, and that's it. Sager's 2.5 HRR is plus 105. That is bases of 1.5. Like, come on. Like I'm. How is Sager versus Cutter? I mean, I laugh at it, but let's look. Sager has a 504 at bats with 2 homers and 2 RBIs. I didn't even look at home runs. Simeon's got 2 home runs as well. I think we're taking Sager. I just laughed at it, but I think I'm going to take it now. Sager over 2.5 HRR is judge numbers. Like, what are we doing here? Like, they're basically saying he's probably going to hit a home run, but it's plus 105, so I'm going to take it. Why not? Because it's good. Yeah, we'll do that. Outside of that, I'm not taking anything else really. I don't like a side at all in this one. 10 with these pitchers, I'm not taking it. I mean, Urena's good, has good history. He had 1 bad game. Out of that, he's been pretty good. Cutter's just been terrible. He can't continue to be terrible, can he? No. 10 just seems high. I say this, but I'll just take Sager over 2.5 HR and just move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Oakland and the Mets. Mets are a pretty heavy favorite in this one. 8.5 is your total. Looking over at the weather, we can see pretty nice day. Wind shouldn't be a factor, so no issues there. Looking at the bats, we see that 64% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. The Mets are on a 3-game losing streak. Oakland's won 2 in a row. 3.3, 257. That's 21st and 15 for Oakland in their last 3. But you see the last game, they shot up pretty good. Mets, 0.3 runs a game in their last 3. $1.79. It's 26 in average and 30th in runs. I've never seen a 0.3 in the last 3 games. That's 1 run in 3 games. That's terrible. So I've yet to see a 0. I'm surprised we haven't. So, but yeah, that's as close as you can get. So Looking at the pitchers, we got Stripling going out there today for Oakland. You can see he faced the White Sox, give a 4.15. He's very up. He gives up more runs than not. This one was the outlier against San Fran. Blackburn's going out there for New York. He was with Oakland, so that should be a fun little game for him. It's one of those, are you better because you know the bats, or are you worse because they know your pitches? That's going to be the fun little test here. So his 2 games have been pretty decent. Before that, he was not good. But somehow he got better in New York, so fun. I don't have any props. I have barely any. Let's see if we can even look at history. I don't know what the prop makers are doing because they're just struggling to put some props out. Blackburn, we can see history, and Toro is 7 at bats, 429, no home runs or RBIs, but OPS. Is he over? What is this? That is terrible. Like, nobody is even above 50% on either team in the last 10 games on any of the batting props. Okay, all right. I've never seen that. That's hilarious. What is going on? Okay. Oakland versus righties. You can see what they've done this year. Nothing really stands out. No one's that impressive. Rooker's 290, and that's about it. Let's see if the other side, Stripling, what are yours? Here we go. We can look at history for Stripling. We can see his history. Martinez is 220 at bats. No one is really standing out either way on the righties. Bats are better against lefties. You say that every time the Mets come up. You can see, but they're still pretty decent. So nothing stands out. I can look at Blackburn strikeouts, 5.5 hits. Gives up a lot of hits. But you're facing Oakland, who is now heating up. So over 4.5, I'm taking it. I don't care. It's the whole you're facing your bats. I think he was terrible in Oakland, and the Oakland bats are going to have a little field day today. So we're going to go over 4.5 hits allowed because they know his pitches. They know what he does. So they see everything. They've seen it for a while. So 4.5 earned runs. I'm not going to take earned runs, though. He can give up hits all he wants, but I mean, you can give up 0 runs. Just give up 5 hits. I don't care. And I don't have any props for Oakland, and let's laugh at the bats again. Here we go, laugh away. I mean, he's got 80% in the lab. This is terrible. This is just trash, horrible. I can't pick a side. I can't take a batter prop. I got Blackburn 4.5 hits allowed. I'm not taking anything else. We're moving to the next game. All right, now we got KC in Minnesota, where 1 pitcher isn't listed. So the fun just continues here. So we can see Minnesota's a slight favorite, 8.5 is your total. This is in Minnesota, so we have weather to look at. We can see pretty nice day. Wind's not going to be an issue. 50% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 5.3 and 286 for KC. That's 11th and 8th in the last 3 games. Pretty decent numbers. Minnesota, 4 runs a game, 243. That's 15th and 17th, middle of the road. And Minnesota's striking out 16th at 9. KC doesn't strike out. They're one of the teams that doesn't do it. So the only pitcher we know is Mr. Lugo is going out there. And we see what he has done. He has not faced Minnesota recently. His last game was his worst game against Boston. 4 earned is, I mean, down here at 10-5. He just doesn't like facing Boston. That's as clear as day. Outside of Boston and this one game against Chicago, I mean, I was going to say he's pretty good, but dude, he's a little bit of an elevator. He's a little up and down recently. So interesting. Okay, let's pop over to props to see if anything stands out. We have Santana is terrible in his 182 and 11 at bats. We got some home runs, but nothing's really standing out to me. Minnesota versus righties. We got some mid twos. Miranda loves righties. Everybody else is in the middle except for Farmer. Yeah, middle. Nothing stands out. Strikeouts very up and down. Hits very yep. Nothing's really, that's consistent. That's pretty consistent, but he's gone down 2 of the last 5. I don't like that. Let's look at his props, the batter props. We have Vasquez bases, Walter bases, Larnach bases. Bases is it. That's all we have. You have to come, yeah. Where's the HRR? It's checked. That's wild. Okay. Don't have any of those. That's fine. Not a problem. This is a weird one because we don't have a pitcher listed for Minnesota. We don't know who's going out there. I can't take a side because I don't know who's pitching. I can't take a total because I don't know who's pitching. So this one, we're just going to pass on it because we were missing a pitcher. We'll just move on to the next game. All right, anybody feeling brave? We got Yankees and White Sox part 2 today. Yankees, they're not 300 today, but they're 290. So yeah, that 300 curse is something else this year and last year too. Anybody over 300 seemed to lose. It was just crazy. It was usually the Dodgers. That was mainly the main ones. This year it's been the Braves. That's been the ones. So yeah, 9.5. You can see the total weather. It's going to be a nice day. Winds blowing in at 5. This shouldn't be an issue. So let's look at the bats. 47% Nerfy based on what they've happened this year. 4.7, 284. That's 4th and 9th for the Yankees in the last 3. White Sox 6.3, 336. That puts them 7th and 2nd in the last 3 games in the major leagues of all teams. And yeah, they're 29.91. Yet yesterday they batted 439 against the Yankees. And yet a lot of people think the Yankees are going to win the World Series. Come on. Yeah, no. Yeah, not with that pitching staff. You got to do a little bit better. So 8 strikeouts across the board, both sides. Let's look at the pitchers a little closer. We got Nasty Nestor, who was pretty nasty last time. Gave us 6 earned runs, 3, 4, 6, 5. You see what he does. He has not been good recently. And Cannon's going out there for the White Sox. He has been good recently. All these numbers are better than Nestor's. Yep, people are still going to bet the Yankees today. So we have the bats leaning Chicago. We have the pitchers technically leaning Chicago, even though people are going to say, oh, Cortez is better than Cannon. Like, okay, show me the stats that he is, because these stats prove he's not in the most recent games. So, I mean, you can argue who they faced could be an issue, but hey, whatever. Whatever. Let's look at the props. We're here to make money. We're not here to argue with people. So, matchups. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, nothing. Benintendi's 154. He's got good historical matchups. Doesn't mean he can't be bad now. He was good before. So against lefties, couple 300s for Chicago on the lefty side now. Okay. Hits 4.5. Nestor gives up a bunch of hits, and you're facing Chicago, who is on fire. Yeah, I gotta take that. Scores over 4.5 hits allowed. I gotta do it. I got to. You see the stats? You see what I'm looking at? Yeah. I mean, 79% is going over. Yeah. 170. Ooh, that's high. But hey, guess what? We don't care about records. We care about units, and that's profit that they hit. So strikeouts have gone down. Earned runs have gone up a lot. 2.5. I'm not taking earned runs. I'll take the hits though. Let's look over at Mr. Cannon, see what he has going on. 0 for 2 against Jazz. Yankees, all the numbers are pretty good against the righties. I mean, we got some 300s. I mean, Grisham's not as good, but everybody else is in the 200s. Okay, so we should have some hits, some strikeouts, earned runs, walks. Look at the bat props. Anything stand out? Benintendi, Cabrera, Vaughn, Benintendi, Cabrera. That's it. Them two. I'm not feeling them two. Both bats are top 10 in average. They're top 14 in runs. The total's 9.5. I almost want to take the over too, just because I know Chicago's going to do some stuff. I think Yankees will get some offense too. Yeah, we're going to take over 9.5. I just think the Yankees pitching is just terrible. That's just what it is. They're just not that good. So we're going to take Cortez over 4.5 hits allowed, and we're going to take the over of 9.5 for the entire game. Next game. No money line. No money line on this one. No. All right, next up we got Toronto and the Angels. Toronto is a slight favorite. 9 is your total. Looking over at the weather, we see it's going to be nice outside. 6 miles an hour blowing out. Nothing really impressive there. 62%, 63% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 2.7, $1.76. It's 23rd and 27th for Toronto in the last 3. And Angels 4, 218. That's 15th and 21st. You got to give the Angels the advantage slightly, even though they are trending down. I mean, we're looking potential nerfing in this game. We'll see if the pitchers can keep up with that. Gossman's going out there for the pitchers. I mean, he gives up runs every game. He's not going to shut you down. That's a fact. So, I mean, that's concerning. That's very concerning. This Toronto, they have a history of hitting nerfies pretty well. Let's see what Fulmer is going out there for the Angels. He's a relief pitcher, but he is pitching starter innings recently. So you can see, I mean, they're both give up runs, but the offenses are just not that good right now. I'm leaning Nerfy. Ugh, they feel dirty right now just to take them. It doesn't feel safe. It's like, oh, are you sure? Like, I think I'm gonna do it. Let's look at the props, dig a little deeper, see if anything stands out. Let's start with Fulmer since we're just talking about him. History, 0 for 1 for Springer, nothing stands out. Against righties, Toronto does pretty good against righties. Oh no, lots of green. 319 for Vladdy, Horwitz 289, 273. You got some higher greens, but some of these still are low, low 200s. Really gotta worry about Vladdy and Horowitz. Other than the main two. Let's look at some props. Hits. This is 2024. He's only pitched in 5 total games. It's hard to really get props for him. Only were games where he has props. He's pitched in more than 5 games. So you could no, pass on those all day. Let's go over to Gossman. That's the main one to worry about, I think. History, I mean, he's been pretty good. 17, 471, 1.2 with a home run and 5 RBIs. Outside of that, Pilar's not that good. Oh, and the numbers aren't backing him up either. Nothing's looking too impressive. Let's look at some props. Hits have gotten better over the time. Okay, last 10 he's getting better. He had a little break, a little spurt, but overall he's trending down nicely. Strikeouts have gone up and down. That's what they do. Earned runs have been pretty stable, around 2 to 3, about 3 average. Okay. Walks and outs have gone up. Let's look at the bats. How are they doing? Not many on here. This is what you want if you're looking for a nerf. You don't want them doing too great recently. Bases, and Adele or Adele, 70%. You know what? I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the nerfy in this one. I'm feeling it. I'm not scared. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared. But I'm going to take the nerfy. I don't want to take, what's total? 9's total. Yeah, we'll take the nerfy. I don't want to take the under 2 because just in case one gets blown up, especially in the first. We'll take the nerfy. 6 simple outs. I don't like a side. And I don't like any of the props, so we'll just take the nerfy. Next game. All right, next up we got the Dodgers and the Brewers. Dodgers are a slight favorite, 8.5 is your total. They're in a dome. It's in Milwaukee, so no worries about weather. 50% on the dot nerfy. To take it or leave it on what they've done this year. 5 runs, 260 for the Dodgers in their last 3. That's 13th on both of those in the last 3 games. Milwaukee has fallen off a cliff. You see they were number 1 at 6.9. Now they're 29th at 2 runs a game and a $1.49 for 30th. You can't have a bigger turnaround than Milwaukee had. So Dodgers on a 4-game winning streak. So I would say Dodgers get the advantage. The bats here pretty clearly. Looking over at the pitchers, we have Stone going out there for Los Angeles. His last 3 games have been, I mean, not his best. You can see what he's done this whole season. Recently he's been giving up 4 runs a lot. He's giving up more runs. And then Colin Ray here is going out there for Milwaukee. He had a great game against Atlanta. 5 hits, nothing in 7 innings. Before that, that'd be pretty good games ever since the Pittsburgh game where he kind of got blew up. So let's look at the props, see what stands out. Let's start with Ray since we're talking about him. History, and we see a whole bunch of nothing, which not many bats to work with either. So Dodgers versus righties. Shohei is 310, obviously. Freeman's 309. Everybody else is kind of mid-2s to lower. Betts is, oh yeah, Mookie's back. I forgot about Mookie. I didn't know he played yesterday. And then I saw he hit a home run. Like, okay, Mookie's back. Okay, that's cool. So there you go. Let's look at the strikeouts. He's been striking out a ton recently. And Dodgers are 12th at 8.3, Milwaukee 16th. Okay, good enough. So Dodgers at 12th. It's at 4.5, and he's been, yeah, his strikeouts have gone up recently like crazy. 4.5's the number. That might be the play. I might. Let's keep looking. Let's dig a little deeper. Let's see what we got. Earned runs, walks, outs. Yeah, no. Based on the fact with the matchups against them, there's a lot of red. That tells me more. I don't think like the big 3, Freeman, Betts, and Ohtani, well, even they strike out some, but you know what? I'm going to take this. This is one of those you see it and it's like, what? Okay. We'll take Ray over 4.5 Ks. It might be a donation, but why not? We'll try it. Now let's go to Stone. Let's look at his history. Boop, boop, boop. Nothing. Milwaukee versus righties. A lot of mid-2s. There's 200. Milwaukee and Arizona are about the same. They both are just consistent on both sides of the plate. And they're going to be mid-2s. You'll have a 300 here and there. So Hits is 5.5. He's given up hits. Ooh. Strikeouts is there. Earned runs has been up recently. They're facing Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's fallen off a cliff recently, so I can't take their offense at all. If anything, I go against their offense and say under hits. I don't trust this. Strikeouts, he does not strike out dude, so I can't take those props. Let's go to bats. Any bats? Hernandez. Oh, look, you're 9 for 10. I wonder what that last one was. That's right. Yesterday he didn't hit. Hoskins, Lux. I mean, I'm not feeling any of the batting props, so we're going to skip all those. I lean Milwaukee in the pitching today. I lean bats for LA. I don't want to put LA in a parlay. I don't even have a single money line yet. I might not even have a parlay today. This is crazy. So I'm not liking these. What's the total? 8.5. I got Ray over 4.5 strikeouts. I think that's good enough. I'll take that and just move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Colorado and Arizona. Arizona's a pretty heavy favorite at home. 8.5 is the total. They're in a dome, so there's no weather. Let me show the bats. 49% Nerfy based on what they've done. Arizona's on a 4-game winning streak. Over hit yesterday, and we see why. I mean, look at the numbers. They're both on fire. 7 runs, 330 for Colorado. It's third place in the majors in the last 3 games. Arizona's first, 9.3, 366. So yeah, pretty good. Looking at the pitchers, we got Eduardo Rodriguez going out there for Arizona. He did 1 game last week, 4 hits, 3 earned against Cleveland. But Cleveland, as we know, in the last week they were bottom 5 in the majors in averages. So I mean, they still were able to hit off him. That might be telling today. And Gomber's going out there for Colorado, and we know what Gomber does. People fade him because he's just not that good of a pitcher. Let's just be honest. So we call a spade a spade. So look at the props. Gomber history. The first thing I see is Marte. And of course, he left the game yesterday with an ankle injury. So we don't know if he's going to play. He's going to be out. We know nothing. He's not even on the batting props. So that should tell you a little something if he's going today or not. Probably not. So outside of that, Suarez is on here as well with 12 at bats, but he's only batting 250. So but it's a lot of green. That's green. So against lefties, like I said earlier, we got some 300s, 200s, 300s. Arizona's pretty consistent. They're good against both sides of the plates. Gomber here, look at the numbers, up and down, strikeouts, hits, earned runs. I mean, hits is pretty consistent, but they're all under. That's Earned runs is pretty consistent to go over, but it's 160. I just rather take the over in the game if I did that. And if we look, he has Rodriguez has 1 game of outs, strikeouts. He had 1. It's earned runs, so nothing stands out. For the bats, we got a bunch of HRRs. We got Rogers, Carroll, Perdomo, Suarez, McCarthy. Pick your poison. To be honest, the way these pitchers are, I mean, you probably could go either way. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this approach. I'm going to come over here. I see the bats are good. I see the total's 8.5. I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. I'm going to take the over 8.5 again. Even if Marte's not playing, I still don't care. I'm still taking it because I can see runs being scored. So over 8.5. I don't trust the side. I'll just say that out there. Both offenses are good. And both pitchers, I mean, we know Gomber's not that good, and Eduardo's only had 1 game. So, no side, just a total over 8.5. And let's move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got Pittsburgh and San Diego. San Diego, a big favorite again. 8 is your total. Weather, it is outside. It's at Petco. We can see, pretty good. Can't complain. Nice. 62% Nerfy. A whole bunch of San Diego logos on the screen. 5.7, 275. That's 9th and 10th for San Diego. Pittsburgh is 2.3 and 236. That's 27th and 19th. So San Diego obviously gets the advantage. Pittsburgh is on an 8-game losing streak. They're starting to do their own little Chicago thing. So they were in contention for the playoffs, but then, yeah, nope. Nope. So there you go. Pittsburgh, Ortiz is going out there. We see what he has done. He has not been good his last few games. He was a beast before that, but now he's just been getting touched up a little bit. And he's facing San Diego again. 4 hits, 4 earned, 3 Ks in 6 innings. I mean, 4 is not good. So, and King is going out there. He also faced Pittsburgh. 6 hits, 3 earned, 7 K in 5 innings. I mean, both pitchers gave us some runs. So there you go. King, I would say King. King's been better. So let's look at the props. See if anything stands out. We have Ortiz. We have King. Let's open them up. Let's do King first. Let it load up. Here we go. King history. Not much. That's probably just from the last game, except for Telos, who's 1 for 9. That's not good. Pittsburgh versus righties. For the season, some of these numbers are good, but we've seen that recently they're not. So they're not doing too great. King strikeouts are very up and down. Hits, yes, there's a slide and it popped back up. Earned runs, walks, outs, very consistently under. But yeah, watch the one time you take this, dude comes out and throws 7 innings. You just know it does it that way. It always works that way. So yeah, it is plus 150. Like under is 225. Yeah, what is this line? That's crazy. All right, no. Anyways, matchup. Let's go Ortiz, LL here, see what he has. Oh, Louis 571 in 7 at bats. Are you over here on the props, my friend? We got a lot of props. You are not on the batting props. Okay. Very interesting. Yep. Nothing stands out. San Diego, it does good against righties. That's just what they do. Lots of high greens, lots of just some 300s, pretty good. San Diego outs, very consistent on the outs. Strikeouts, kind of up and down. Hits, 5.5. He hits that under a good bit. Earned runs, walks. I look at the bats. A lot of Pittsburgh. How has Pittsburgh got so many dudes in the last 10 doing this well, yet their stats are this? What? That makes absolutely no sense. Who is getting all the... That doesn't make sense to me. That's crazy. They're literally the only ones doing anything. Outside of that, no one does anything. So, yeah, looking at these props, I'm not taking it. No, this is all Pittsburgh except for Machado. Yeah, no shot. Not a chance. I can't do that. All right, so I don't trust the number. I don't trust that. No, I'm not taking a side. I mean, we learned yesterday, -2 high numbers is crazy. San Diego, 225. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, King's good, but he ain't that good. He ain't like, oh my God, amazing. So we're going to pass on that. You know what? Let's do this. Let's come over here. Let's go team props. San Diego runs over 4.5. This is San Diego. I'm doing that. I'm going San Diego team total over 4.5. We'll do that because I don't trust Pittsburgh. I don't want to take anything else. We will take that. So we're going to do San Diego team total over 4.5. Next game. All right, last game. We got Atlanta and San Fran. Absolutely amazing game yesterday, which we knew it would be. 2 pitchers showed out, did what they do. Today, it's a pick 'em, 8.5. Look at the weather. Should be a nice day overall. Can't complain. Wind should be blowing out a little bit. Bats, 59% nerfy based on what they've done this year. 6.7, 267 for Atlanta in the last 3. That's 5th and 11th. San Fran 2.3, $1.63. That's 27-28. So Atlanta has the advantage in offense. You normally don't say that too much for Atlanta this year, but they do. Both teams striking out 9.7, which is 21st. Looking at the pitchers, not as good today as it was yesterday, but hey, I mean, come on. Morton gave up 9 hits and 8 runs against Milwaukee last game. Before that, nothing against Miami and 5 against the Mets. So very up and down. Harrison's going out there for San Fran. He gave up 6 to Cincy. Good game against Washington and good games before that. So I'd probably lean Harrison over Morton slightly. And I obviously you take the bats for Braves slightly. So that kind of cancels out the money line. We are not going to have a single money line today. Wow. Interesting. And there was a lot of 200 favorites today. That is, ooh, it's going to, I think it might be a brutal day for the money line market. So let's look a little closer at the props. Let's start with Harrison since we're talking about him. Nothing in the history. Braves versus lefties. Oh, nothing's really. There's a 260, 270. Zuna 343 is the only one that stands out. No one else stands out. Terrible. Outs is very consistent. I would say it's pretty consistent. Strikeouts, 11 in the outside. He never goes that high. It was Colorado, of course it was. Hits, earned runs. I mean, very up and down. Nothing stands out. Let's look at Morton. What's Morton's history looking like? Boop, boop, boop. We got some history. No one's just standing out as amazing. So, I mean, there's a home run here and there, but that happens. A lot of reds. San Fran is not good against righties. They are fully all about the lefties. That's what they do. I mean, but I say Fitzgerald's still 307. Like, come on, 270, 307, 269. That's about all I can find. So, hits 4.5. I don't know if we want to go with that. That's it looks good. It looks good, but last time he faced him was on the 4th, and they gave up 5 runs. I mean, 5 hits. I mean, Oh, how is San Fran's offense? Oh, that's right. It's abysmal right now. So, yeah, no shots. Strikeouts, no. Earned runs, walks, outs. I don't trust Morton to keep the runs low or the hits low, so I'm not going to take the team total under or over. I I lean Atlanta on the bats. I lean San Fran with the pitching. That's about all I got in this one. Let's look over at do the batter props have anything? We got Carcino, we got Conforto at 80. We got some bases, a lot of bases. Everyone else's bases. And they're all at 70. So, I mean, there's your options. You can pick those if you want. I don't see any matchups I really like where I really want to jump on it. Maybe Ozuna, but that's 1.5 bases. So you're thinking he gets a double at least or 2 singles, and it's still plus money. So yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling this game at all, to be honest. So for me, I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to pass on this one and just call it a day. All right, that's it. That's all 15 games broken down. And believe it or not, I do not have a single money line today. And there were several games that had minus 200 or better odds. I just don't like any of them today. You saw the matchup. I broke down everything. Nothing just really stood out saying take me. So, of course, the one that did was yesterday with the Yankees, and then they lost by like 8 runs. So I mean, it's baseball. What can you do? So, but nothing stood out, and we're not going to chase bets to chase them. So, I have no money line parlay because I have no money line bets. Not a single one. I couldn't even have a straight bet. So, none of those. I didn't even have any bats that stood out. The only bat that stood out was Marte, and he hurt his ankle, which means he's probably not going to play. So, that's it too. So, I have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11. Somehow I still have 11 plays. I don't know how I got that many. So we passed on a good many games. I think I was trying to find plays today. It was like a little struggle today. Today is a struggle. So we'll see how today goes. We'll follow the stats. If it's a good day, it's a good day. If it's a bad day, it's a bad day. We've hit 3 straight green days in a row, though, so we can't complain about that. So we'll take those, take the profits. Drop a like, subscribe, check out Outlier, link in the description. Awesome. You see, I use it every day. It's awesome. If you want to become a member, you can skip all this. Just get the recap all typed out for you, nice and pretty. Early access to videos with YouTube members. If you just want Discord access, you can get that as well. You can become a Patreon member. All that stuff's there. So football is coming soon. Videos will be out this week, and it's going to ramp up. It's going to be really busy. So hopefully we all end up profitable today, regardless of what you bet, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.